because there's nothing in the paddock, but the chat tells us.
Ah, cool. Hopefully it's right. Hopefully it's 11. Hmm.
Season 12, round 11.
Yeah. Lovely. It's really foggy outside. It's quite strange. I wasn't expecting it to be practically like invisible outside.
No,
It's really
sunny and
creepy.
clear here.
Eh?
Sunny and clear here.
Yeah, your mic isn't.
I'll watch the video.
I.
Sunny and clear up here.
No, I know, I heard, but it just sound like you're talking through like a teleprompter or something. Beast, 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 beast. Beast, beast, beast. And it's very warm welcome, everybody, back to the Motive Racing channel. Here for tonight's action here for the Purple Sector Formula One League. This is round 11 of 24 for season 12, I think it is. Yep, season 12. Nowadays, across all platforms here on the F124 game. We're at Austria here tonight. My name's Andy, and I'm joined once again by my usual friend in the commentary box, Mr. Emo Guy. Ian, welcome along.
Hello, hello.
Very well, thank you. Very, very well indeed. Just to let you know, the issue that we spoke about a few moments ago is still present. I mean, let's see, because I'm not quite sure. It was only a couple of words, so we'll have to see. But Ian, I can bite you, but I'd much rather bite you under circumstances where I can hear you properly, without having to strain to hear what you're saying. But yeah, currently we're just experiencing a few little technical difficulties here. We haven't actually done anything to try and fix it yet, so we're just now trying to do that. But in the meantime, we're in the early stages of this qualifying session here tonight. We've got 14 drivers on the track here, so not too many here out on track just at the moment. But as the session goes on, hopefully we'll have some more coming in. I know we've got one or two drivers who said they might be here tonight, but haven't actually turned up just yet. So yeah, hopefully that sorts itself out before we get to the end of the qualifying session. But yeah, currently coming into tonight, this is obviously round 11 of the season, with 10 rounds into the season. And yeah, we're definitely into the business part of the season here. We got currently in the championship on 166 points is Clen, who had a strong week last week. Managed to overhaul that gap to Davidoff. Davidoff had a really good run in the first sort of leg of the season, but Clen's clawed that back. Obviously, Clem was leading after the first couple of rounds, so he now leads the championship on 166 points. Ahead of Davidoff, who's second on 158 points, only 8 points behind in second place. And you got Justify in third place in the standings, having taken a win last week. He's on 115 points in third place, so 51 points off of the championship lead. It's not a million miles away, but it is 2 full race wins, so he needs a nearly perfect season, I would say, for the rest of this season. He can't afford to be throwing points away to either of the top two for the rest of the season now. He needs to be consistently outscoring them every single round, or almost every single round. He can afford maybe one or two bad ones, but Justifier needs to be almost inch perfect here for the rest of this season. In fourth place in the standings is Matty Pitt. Matty Pitt sits on 106 points. And then you've got Rex Boy in fifth on 75 points. Followed by Freddie, who is sixth on 67 points. Then you've got C. Faulkner only a point behind Freddie in seventh on 66 points. C. Faulkner's the first driver to do a lap so far in this session. We've then got T in 8th place on 49 points. Then behind him, we've got Street Boy in 9th on 41 points. Then we've got Draga in 10th on 28 points. Draga's doesn't appear to be here tonight, actually. In 12th place is Mark on 22 points. He's also done a lap there in the low 105s at the moment is Mark. Behind Mark, we've got G.C. who's also on 22... No, sorry. On 20 points, should I say, G.C. Currently there. He's in 13th on 20 points, as we said. Truckee 14th on 11 points. Truckee is just on an out lap at the moment, about to start a flying lap here. Hold on, Ian's calling me. What's up? For God's sake, why does Discord make it so hard to put it on speaker? Right, say what you just said again.
Are you joining the party?
Oh, I'd never left.
Well, there's no active party on my end.
Well, you've joined a different party then, bro. Just join the one that I'm in if you can. That'd be nice.
There is no other parties.
Are you joking?
No, I cannot see any other one.
Are you having a bubble? There's no other parties on the list.
The only one that I can see that I can join is simply one.
What the bloody hell? Right, let me leave and come back, and let's see if this fixes our issue. This is insane. So I do apologise to those of you watching this back afterwards. For those of you who do enjoy watching the qualifying before you watch the race, Yeah, this is just standard protocol at this point. This is tradition. Um, right, there's the right. You should have a notification now. There we go. Nice one. All right, cool. Oh dear. I was just saying it's becoming a bit traditional now. We have technical difficulties during qualifying.
Oh, I definitely know it's not my internet. That's all I'm saying.
It's too fast. That's what it is. You need to slow down. 15th in standings is Oliver. Sorry, on 10 points. Oliver's there currently in 8th place in the session at the moment. 16th is Mr. Johan on 9 points. Mr. Johan is there. Then we've got White Shadow in 17th on 2 points. White Shadow is not here tonight, actually, so we'll not improve on that 2-point tally so far this season. While Pluto is a driver we haven't seen for actually quite a while now. I don't know if he's still in the league, but he's on 0 points so far this season, and we're currently missing 2 drivers from our starting lineup for this season. So hopefully Matty Pitt will be doing a little bit of recruitment for that one, and we'll see. Might even see some old faces filling the grid at some point very soon.
Just for your information, my download is 516 megabytes a second and upload 72.
Oh, look at you.
And I've not paid a single bill in the 3 years that I've had it.
That is shocking. How on earth have you managed to get away with that?
God knows, they've never sent me a bill, they've never tried to call me, nothing.
That is shocking. That's absolutely unreal. Well, somebody out there paying that bill for you, mate. I must say, somebody's doing God's work, truly.
Definitely.
Or the devil's work.
Oh, yeah.
But we got a couple of comments coming in here. Freddie saying hello, welcome along, Freddie. Good to see you, mate. Freddie is out on track here tonight. He's currently 11th in this qualifying leaderboard, but we know for a fact Freddie's going to be higher up than that by the end of this qualifying session. He's a driver who is more than capable of delivering a fast lap when it matters here. But yeah, C. Faulkner currently setting the pace with a really strong lap here. As have you noticed what third place man Clen's doing in? You've just seen this intermediate tyres. Oh, he's taking them off now. Soft tyres are on his car.
it was never on the intermediates, it was on those softs for a lap.
Really? It was showing on my telemetry as on Inters. If you look at the stream, you'll see. That's really weird.
It's showing on mine saying it was out in the soft tire for a lap.
Yeah, it definitely showed up as Inters for a few seconds there. Very strange. He must have selected them as he came into the pits. But yeah, currently C. Faulkner setting the pace here with a really, really strong lap there. It's very, very close between the top 3. C. Faulkner, Matty Pitt and Clen separated by less than a tenth of a second here in first, second and third places. You got Rexy Boy in 4th, who's a little way off of the pace right now, just under 4 tenths off of C. Faulkner on a 105.3. Justify is 5th, just a few hundredths of a second behind Rexy Boy on the leaderboard, with Mark, who is in 6th place, 4 tenths off of pole. T is 7th. Currently in the pits at the moment. You've got Oliver in 8th place on a flying lap, I think, but it's only a 10th down actually for the first sector. But this could potentially be a push lap here for Oliver. You've got Truckee at P9 at the moment, or ahead of G.C. who completes the top 10. Freddie in 11th place, who's on a lap at the moment as well. We've got to keep an eye on Freddie here. Oh, look at this, he's well up. We'll come back to Oliver because Freddie is on a very, very quick lap time here. Currently 3 tenths quicker on his personal best. This could put him well in the thick of it here, maybe on the front 2 rows if he can nail this final corner. Here comes Freddie then, up towards the line, and it's only a very, very small improvement. He lost 2 tenths through that final sector there. So, shame there. But we got, nonetheless, Oliver coming in towards the final few corners here. He's currently in 8th place here in this session. As we see Oliver... Yeah, Street Boy goes 7th. So Oliver up towards the line. What is it going to be for him? Stays in 9th place for the time being. Ahead of Truckee, ahead of Freddie. But Freddie was so quick in those first 2 sectors. He lost 2 tenths in that final sector there. So he clearly didn't nail those last 2 corners how he would have liked to. But nonetheless...
Up by 2 tenths.
Yeah, he is. Let's jump on board with the McLaren here as he comes through the final 2 corners here. Justify onto the throttle here, up towards the line. Let's see what he's able to do. It's very close, but it's P4 there for Justify. So goes into, well, kind of best of the rest here because the top 3 are all in their own league. They're all under the 105s, and it's a 2 tenth gap to Justify and the rest. What
Street Boy
happened?
had a lot of an incursion onto the grass.
Yeah. Well, Street Boy there obviously did do a fast lap just now, didn't he? Put it into P7, so just pushing the limits at the moment, by the looks of it. Seeing how much he can get away with, I guess, I suppose. But yeah, currently the provisional pole sitter C. Faulkner's in the pits. Matty Pitt is also in the pits. So they're going for new
Oh,
tyres. Davidoff!
Davidoff!
Look at that. Reliable as ever.
From the back of the grid.
Mr. Old Reliable chiming in there with a beautiful lap there. Who was the championship leader until last week. Clan obviously has relieved him of that particular accolade for the time being, but Davidoff there has done a fantastic job of putting it ahead of those three who seemed like they were in a class of their own a few moments ago, but Davidoff there showing that he's got plenty of talent around the Red Bull Ring here tonight. We've got Glenn, who's on an in-lap by the looks of it. Who's on a flying lap? Let's find a driver on a flying lap if we possibly can. Is anybody on a flying lap? Trucky's starting a flying lap. Let's jump on board with Trucky. No, he's not. He's not on a flying lap either. What about Freddie? Freddie was actually only a 10th down in the middle sector, but you don't see what's on a flying lap. Let's see what you can do here. Over the line. Look at that, P7. Lovely. Very tidy. There from G.C. That pushes Freddie down to 13th place. Really struggling here tonight in this qualifying session. We've got Johan currently in P14, coming out of turn 1 up the hill towards turn 2. But Davidoff come into the pits here at the end of that particular run. Still a fair way to go in this qualifying session. Obviously, only 2/3 of the way through. And generally, you find, Ian, that as the track ramps up and improves, you find that most of the quick lap times come in this part of the session, don't they?
Oh yeah, definitely. The more obviously, the more the cars go on the track, the more rubber there is. It increases your lap time, not by a lot, but it's this is racing, so every last millisecond counts. So the more time that these drivers spend out on the track, the more rubber's going to get laid down, the grippier the track's going to be. So, and they've still got another 5 minutes, so there's every chance that these lap times could still drop.
It certainly is. As we can see, most of the drivers into the pits here, you don't see them actually staying out for another lap here. So has done an in-lap and then decided not to come in and to actually do another flying lap. So clearly he must have a bit of fuel here. Mark's also out on track. Couldn't improve on his personal best there. Stays in 8th place for the time being. Mr. Johan coming up the hill towards turn 2 on what looks to be a flying lap here as well. As he comes into the turn 2 apex there, getting a little bit of oversteer on the corner, but nicely exiting up the hill. And here we come then, Mr. Johan into turn 3 at the moment. And looks like he's bailed out of that one. But Mark here nonetheless coming into turn 3 at the moment. Let's see, currently 8th place at the moment in this session. Is he on a flying lap here? I think he might, actually no. No, his time's too far off in the middle sector here. I think he's going to hit that checkpoint a bit too late, so I think he's definitely bailed out of it here. Well, I suppose the track just quieting down a little bit, the calm before the storm, Ian, before it really livens up here.
I'm just looking at T here. He's up 3/10 in the middle sector, coming into the last 2 corners now.
Where is T? T is... Here he is, coming through into the final corner. Oh, look at this. He's on an absolute flyer right now. 3/10 up, as Ian said, through the middle sector there. Here he comes up towards the line. It's P5 there for T. Yeah, only 2.5 tenths off for the pole time. So, yeah, definitely not far away. And could maybe have time to come in and put a fresh set of tyres on. The fuel might be running low. But, yeah, it's going to be tight for T to get back in and put some tyres on. Finally, Freddie's come in with a good lap time there.
Yeah,
I was getting worried.
well, no, quite a lot of people are very close together, but now this track it is notoriously difficult to try and break the DRS. So it's going to be really interesting to see how everyone reacts, what the tire choices are going to be, because unless oh my pits went faster again.
Oh,
So
look at that,
Justify's came
Justify.
in.
Look at that, two in quick succession there. Did Matty Pitt give a little bit of slipstream there to Justify? I think he might be a little bit too far behind him for that to have been the case, but those two came in like wrecking balls, didn't they? One after the other. And Matty Pitt there thought he had pole. Justify said, you think again. But
Not today, Sonny Jim.
but nonetheless, there's still time because these guys are not going to get another run now. They're going to have to, they're going to basically this is it for them. So Justify and Matty Pitt have blown their load a little bit early here, and the likes of Davidoff, C Faulkner, Clen as well. These guys are going to have a faster track. They're going to have optimal track conditions here to try and improve and take pole position here. Davidoff obviously did that phenomenal lap earlier on when the track wasn't really rubbing in. So what could he do with a proper track that's actually had rubber laid down on it? This could be a sensational run here from Davidoff as we jump on board with him coming out of turn one, keeping it well within track limits there. That was a very cautious exit out of turn one actually. It looked like he really didn't use as much of the track as I think he could have easily done there. But up the hill he comes towards turn two, taking a wide exit there on the curb. Yeah, nice entry there. Clip the curve a little bit, not too much on the exit here. Davidoff being very cautious on the run out of these corners. Down the hill we go. He's using a little bit of curve on the entry. He's used plenty of the track on the entry, on the exits. Well, saying that, he used plenty of the exit there. But Davidoff here on a decent lap so far. Let's watch that sector times, see what the middle sector's saying here. As Davidoff here is on what's going to be probably his final run, 2/10 up. Keeps this up, he'll be on pole position by at least a tenth of a second. So here we come there. They've got the Ferrari getting well out of the way as Davidoff now into the final two corners there, missing the apex. Actually, you want to miss the curb by a little bit there because you get a better run through the second part. But Davidoff here up towards the line, and it is pole. No, it's not. He misses out. Oh my goodness. Wow, I thought he'd done it there, but he hadn't done it. Just over a tenth, or just under a tenth, should I say. Behind Justify, as we've got C Faulkner on a flying lap here. He's going to have some slipstream off of the Ferrari, which could be massively beneficial. He's got Street Boy right in front of him, or is Street Boy on a lap of his own as well. This could be... yeah, Street Boy's on a lap as well, so C Faulkner's not going to get waved through. This could be really hurting. His final runners, Clen there goes top by 0.2 of a second. Look at that, the championship leader showing why he's leading the championship. Davidoff on an in lap is suddenly third now. C Faulkner's lost it, so that's going to be P5 at best for C Faulkner. Is anybody else going to be improving here? We've got G.C. on a lap here. Also Mark, although he's on an in lap. So is Mr. Johan Street Boy. And what about Truckee? Up towards the line comes Truckee. This is a decent lap from Truckee. Goes on a P14. It's so close. It's so close, this leaderboard. It's what you think is a good lap because it's within a second of the fastest time is actually P14. It's just so tight, isn't it? It's incredible. G.C. nonetheless coming into the final couple of quarters here. Currently P10 at the moment. Surely not. Actually.
Oh, just no. wait, a little bit wide at the last, coming out the last corner there.
Anyway.
That might just be it for qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. Still got the Johan coming round. Down the corner now.
Yeah. I thought he'd backed out of it earlier on, but clearly not. But Mr. Johan.
Oh!
Wow, look at that! Oh my goodness, where did that come from?
Very nice.
Jesus. I was not expecting that, I tell you.
No.
Oh my goodness. Mr. Johan's pulled one out of his butt cheeks there. And misses out by 0.02 of a second. We know Mr. Johan's good on the tyres, don't we? We saw at Spain last week. So we know that he's good at making the tyres last a long time, but I didn't know he had pace like that in qualifying as well. That's absolutely sensational there from Mr. Johan. That came from nowhere, but Clen does take pole position by a very narrow margin there. Mr. Johan second with Justified third, and Davidoff completing the front two rows, but it's very, very close. A second covering all 14 drivers here tonight.
Well, that's the glory of the Red Bull Ring, is that it does provide extremely close racing, extremely close lap times. It's just one of those tracks that just it calls for it.
And minimal tyre wear as well, which does sometimes cause people to go very, very long stints on their tyres. And that in itself creates a problem because sometimes you can get over ambitious with it. But hopefully it's a dry race, because there's one track where wet races are actually ruin it, and that is this one, because the DRS around this track is just, it creates an absolute fest of overtaking. So I always find whenever it's a wet race around here, it's always a bit of a buzzkill, but it does appear to be dry at the moment, albeit with some clouds and a bit of fog as well. Actually, the visibility doesn't seem to be the best. Then again, we are in the mountains. Should we expect this? Probably. But yeah, this is it, nonetheless, for the Austrian Grand Prix here this season for the Purple Sector Formula 1 League. No sprint races in Purple Sector, it's just Grand Prix. So here we go then. Underway for the formation lap. And Ian, we saw a tight qualifying session there, only 200 separated in the top two. Obviously, Davidoff P4, the championship contender to Glenn. You've got Justify third. Who we reckon's going to be taking home the victory here tonight?
I cannot give it to anybody right now, because since this track can be so close, and it's anybody's game.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's not really the one for predictions, is it, this track? I'm going to just go outsider. The reason why I asked is I wanted to basically put my 2 cents in and say that I think that Davidoff's got a great chance at coming back through from 4th place there, because he's a driver who goes well in the races. He's going to be hungry to avenge last week's deficit there to Glenn. I think he's going to be on it tonight. I don't know why. I have a funny feeling.
Well, right now we're about to find out exactly how it goes, as we've got 5 red lights and we are off.
Looked like Mr. Johan got a quick start there ahead of, or rather alongside Glenn. Looking to the inside there, a little bit too far away, as we've got Davidoff here on the inside. Justify with a better exit there out of turn 1 due to the outside line being the favourable one. And Matty Pitt there has got ahead of C. Faulkner, although they're still side by side up the hill towards turn 2. C. Faulkner looking back to the looking back alongside. We've got Rexy Boy also attacking on the outside of C. Faulkner now into turn 2, but he gets a good exit there, does Rexy Boy. C. Faulkner got a little bit twitchy, and Rexy Boy up into 6th place. Davidoff and Justify side by side here, also down towards turn 3, and Justify on the outside there. Davidoff trying to hold his ground on the inside there, and just forcing Justify to the edge of the track there. Davidoff back up into 3rd place, so he's made up a place here on this opening lap. Glenn still leading ahead of Mr. Johan though, and yeah, it was a crucial move for Davidoff there. I said he'd be on it in this race. He's done 1 overtake so far. Matty Pitt is now looking pretty racy on the back of Justify as well, but Rexy Boy, C. Faulkner, T with Freddie and Oliver completing the top 10 at the moment. Freddie's lost a few places here on this opening lap, as Street Boys there in 11th place ahead of Mark, followed by Truckee and G.C. running in P14 at the moment. But that is the first lap, and Glenn settling into a lead here, looking quite comfortable for the time being, as isn't really coming under massive pressure at the moment from Mr. Johan. And they come up the hill here. DRS is going to be open this time around, so they're all going to get the DRS on the race leader, Glenn. He's going to be, I think, a sitting duck down this next straight. Mr. Johan's going to be close, saying that Glenn gets a good exit here out of turn 2, and that's going to keep him in good stead, and I think he should be alright this time around. Mr. Johan, they're getting the closing speed. We're going to watch them all constantly teetering up here as they come down towards turn 3, but because they're in a train, and because nobody's dropped out of the DRS to the car in front, Ian, we're not seeing any overtakes.
Yeah, that's the whole problem with this kind of track, is that it's very reminiscent of like a Monaco style, where everyone's got the DRS, so no one's overspeeding compared to the car ahead, so it's everyone's on just on a level playing field apart from the leader. But even at that, it's still just once the leader's overtaken, it's very much like we saw yesterday with the red arrows. It's one overtakes the other, then next lap, they'll get them back. So it's pretty much a stalemate on pit stops right now. It's the pit stops that are going to really mix things up.
Mr. Johan here getting closer to the back of Glenn. He's going to have 2 bites of this. He's going to have DRS up the hill towards turn 2, and then again up towards 3. So you see how he's using that DRS to get that little bit closer. Now he's going to have a chance to make it stick here. Buck didn't get a great exit there coming out of turn 2. That would have just compromised his chances here a little bit. Getting closer under braking. Justify in the background has got ahead of Davidoff up into 3rd place. Mr. Johan too far back. Davidoff going late on the brakes there, keeping it around the outside of Justify. Doing fantastically well, but Justify is going to have to run down towards turn 4 now, around the outside. Davidoff again getting his elbows out there. And it's done really well, this Davidoff there, to hold on to that one. Matty, yeah, look at this. We're currently watching on the side camera there of Justify. He managed to stay ahead of Matty Pitt by the skin of his teeth. Matty Pitt was looking very racy on the back of him there, but Rexy Boy and C Faulkner are in hot pursuit behind these guys as well. This is currently a 5-car battle here for third place. The two leaders are breaking away from them at the moment. If they continue to battle it more, then it's going to allow these two to just sneak off into the distance. But Mr. Johan, look at this, 2/10. He's got him. He's got him coming up towards turn 2. This is job done here. He's going to get this one done, but he's going to get the DRS back to Glenn in a second. So Mr. Johan there up the inside and takes the lead here at the Austrian Grand Prix at Purple Sector. Gets it turned in nicely as well. Got a good run there. Managed to close off Glen's cutback. So Glen's going to have to get it done on the DRS down towards 3, and he's too far back. And Mr. Johan has got the lead now. So that's a crucial move there for Mr. Johan. Now he can dictate the pace out the front.
Yeah, but whether or not he's going to be able to have the pace to be able to hold him back, have the ability to keep the car in all the right places. There's so many different things you need to do at this track in order to keep it ahead.
Absolutely. We see Matty Pitt, having an attack there on the back of Justify. They were side by side there going through turns 4 and 5, and Matty Pitt had to back out of it in the end. He was slightly alongside, but Justify had that preferred line around the outside and was just able to carry more speed. Matty Pitt very sensibly there in the early stage of this race, not engaging with that one. But C Faulkner here is attacking on Matty Pitt into turn 1, a little bit too far away just there, as Rexy Boy T and Freddie there behind them with Oliver, Mark, Creep Boy and Trucky and DG.C. there. But Mr. Johan's lost out to Glenn up the hill into turn 2. Glenn now hits the front in this Austrian Grand Prix, which is very important there. Justify has also moved ahead of Davidoff up into 3rd place. And Davidoff there losing out to Matty Pitt as well. So Justify, Matty Pitt to 3rd place, 3rd and 4th places here. Matty Pitt like to the outside here. Justify is going to try and go around the outside. This would be a heck of a move here from Matty Pitt. Wow, that's commitment and bravery there from Matty Pitt. And he's still ahead on the inside. He's going to try and complete this move here into turn 4. And Matty Pitt has made 2 places on this lap so far with a couple of absolutely spectacular moves there. Really getting his elbows out nicely.
Yeah, that's the only other way that you can properly make a move around here. Outside of pit stops, you have to get your elbows out. This is one of the only tracks on the calendar where you truly have to, just go for it in the corners, or else you're just going to be stuck behind that the driver ahead, and you're just going to be burning the tires up.
Certainly are. We can see Justify here attacking on Matty Pitt into turn 1, a little bit too far away. He's going to get 2 bites of it though. Coming up the hill towards turn 2 will be his first opportunity. In the meantime, Mr. Johan's got back ahead of Glenn here up the hill into turn 2. So that's now a job done for position. Again, Mr. Johan into the lead. Matty Pitt here has been passed by Justified, as Matty Pitt's now got Davidoff attacking on him as well here. So there's a lot of cars here packed into a short space. T has picked off C Faulkner. C Faulkner is dropping down the order continuously here in this one. He's lost a lot of places here in this race as C Faulkner, although he's back down the inside there of T as they're still side by side. T gets that move completed around the outside of turn 3. But Glen's got back ahead of Mr. Johan there. Did Mr. Johan let him through? It looked like Mr. Johan got out of that a little bit there, as we were just flicking to him there coming out of turn 4. But these guys are a couple of seconds clear of Justify at this point, as Matty Pitt's still keeping him. What's that?
Every car, all the cars apart from the Mercedes and the Ferraris, have a wee kind of screen thing just in the chassis behind the front pillar of the hill.
How strange.
Yeah, you've got also each car has their own design for it, but the Haas that has that kind of mountainish type protective thing in front of the steering wheel, whereas the Mercedes and the Ferrari don't.
Ah, that's very specific, isn't it? Wow. Well, good to know that EA Sports tailor-make everyone's halos, I guess, yeah.
Not the halo.
Oh.
No, see, right, who are you on right now?
The Haas of Mr. Johan.
Right, okay, right. The Haas. Yeah, see in front of the steering wheel you've got that wee clear screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wee car that it has bumps and edges on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, go to Matty Pitt and look in the same area.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's the same with Ferrari, they don't have one either.
Hmm. Yep, I see what you mean. I never noticed that before. It's cool. Right.
Yeah.
Mr. Johan still leads here on lap 8 of the race. Glenn is in second as we see a big lock up there from the race leader. Justify's got Matty Pitt getting closer to him as they come through 3. But, yeah, these guys are on the medium tyres, so they can go a fair way into this stint. I imagine they'll probably be wanting to do medium soft. It's the kind of track where you probably can. Or is anybody going to go for the undercut, put those hards on, go long?
I was thinking that some of them will probably come in lap 13, 14, maybe even 15 and go into the hard tires for the rest of it.
Yeah, could well be. Yeah, it might be a little bit ambitious actually. Putting the mediums on and then the soft, but I bet you some people will try
it. The only way I can see that happening is if there was a safety car round about the pit stop laps, or about, you know, lap 13, 14 or 15. If there was a safety car around at that time, I would say maybe go for the softs.
Very possibly. C4, they're making a move on Rexy Boy into V5 as T's also up the inside of Davidoff. And Davidoff here is going backwards in this race. What is happening here with Davidoff? Seems like, well, he stayed ahead of T for the time being, but Davidoff started in P4. He's now running in 7th place. And this is just a curse on my predictions here, because Davidoff has done nothing but go backwards in this race. It's yeah.
That's why you don't make predictions here, because, you know, chances are, you know, it's never going to happen.
Indeed, yeah. I think it's almost guaranteed that it's not going to happen. But nonetheless, Oliver has gone off onto the gravel there. He taps Stewie Boy in the rear, loses out to Mark and G.C. And he's now running a 13th place. So Oliver there has lost out now to Truckee as well. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And yeah, that little skirmish there has cost him big time. He's now into the pits as well.
So we've now got a Haas at the top of the pack, and now we've got a Haas at the back of the pack.
Yeah.
Which one's more accurate?
I think in terms of real life representation, I'd say that Oliver's certainly got it more nailed on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Johan, if you could just start, you know, being a bit more realistic here, that'd be nice.
Yeah, you know, take out Glenn and, you know, Crash and Tell or something. Then
you're mugging us off. We don't know like real F1 at the moment. You're mugging us off. Can you start going according to the script, please? You know, we've written you a script.
You know, we spent all night on this.
We've got notes on who's going to be crashing and when, and who's going to be making overtakes and when, so that we can be watching you. So if you can stick to the script and stop messing it up, thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we gave you a good amount of money for this.
Christ. You know, when we ask for extras, we expect you to follow our instructions. Anyway,
yeah.
Mr. Johan is all over it. Oh, we got a bit of a twitch there, didn't he? Come out of turn 1.
I was about to say, he had a bit of a second thought there.
Yeah, I think he might be. He's made the move for the lead, but nonetheless, around the outside there of Glenn. So Mr. Johan back up into P1 as they come into turn 2. But yeah, this is a cracking little battle here between these two.
But Clive, you know, it makes so much ground coming into the braking zones, so that it closes that gap so much.
Yeah, he really does. The straight line speed is really strong here. We've got Davidoff here as we've got ahead of T, as now they're still side by side, and T managed to get a better exit there coming out of turn 3 and has got back around the outside of Davidoff there. So these two are going at it, but it's allowed Davidoff's teammate Freddie to be right in the thick of this battle here. This is something that the Williams guys are not used to, both of them being in this position. Obviously, Freddie dropped back a little bit. I say not used to in purple sector, because in real life, you know, this is par for the course.
But done pretty well.
Yeah, this was real life, they'd be chuffed to bits, but it's not. It's not. These guys are top drivers.
Alvaron's been doing pretty well for Williams since the start of the season.
Mate, the thing that I'm most surprised about is Carlos. What is going on with him?
Aye.
Honestly, I know obviously like he's not going to be as good as in Ferrari, but I thought he'd go to Williams and make that his team. Like everyone, including myself, thought he would come in and absolutely manhandle Alva.
Davidoff had wing damage, that's why he's going backwards.
Ah, right, that makes sense. Has he put it in the comments?
No, I'm watching him now. changed his wing in the pits at the pit stop.
That does explain it, actually, yeah. Well, he wasn't that
And
far off the
Oliver's
lead, was he? Oh, Oliver's out of the race. Davidoff wasn't that far off of the lead, only about 4 or 5 seconds, so the undercut could be on here for him. Although saying that, no, it wouldn't be, because he had to spend more time in the pits, didn't he? So he'd probably need a safety car.
One or two more seconds.
No, it's about 5, because a front wing change is 7.6 seconds, a tyre change is 2.8.
Oh, Glenn has a penalty.
Oh, no.
Anyway.
Well, that's going to really affect this battle for the lead here, because Mr. Johan now knows he doesn't need to finish ahead of Glenn, he just needs to be within 3 seconds of him. As C4 has moved ahead of Rexy Boy. Rexy Boy is not done here. Whoa, 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 who was that? That was, somebody was parked in the track there. Did you see that, Ian?
No.
I did. Oh, it was Oliver. So Oliver's out of the race. As C4 has made the move on Rexy Boy back up into 4th place. These two going at it here down towards turn 3. Justify in the background is right on these two as well. Justify's gone backwards over the course of this race. Started in 3rd place, but currently running in P6 at the moment. It's been these two battling for the win.
No, so the way this race is kind of realistic, because you've got Truckee who's in the red, so it's 13.
And his teammate battling for the win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, which one of Behrman and Hulkenberg do you see running in P1? There we go. But Mr. Johan's currently doing a phenomenal job at the moment, as we see Glenn into the pits here at the end of lap 13 and putting a set of, I'd assume it's going to be hard tyres on. Yep, indeed.
And that call up at the pit stop.
Yeah. It's like
for the lap count.
Mr. Johan's doing Magnussen at Brazil in 2021, was it, or 2022? Can't remember. 22, yeah. Yeah, Mr. Johan's doing that.
Those thunderstorms caused the red flag.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, he didn't do this in the race.
No.
The race was bang average and very Haas-like, but
yeah.
You know, I mean, the Haas is definitely improved the last couple of seasons. I have to say their entertainment value and their corporate value is somewhat diminished since the removal of a certain team principal, but
yeah, but I understand why they got rid of him, because obviously it's not really good for PR, is it?
No, he was literally a paid actor, that guy.
Oh, of course he was. That's why do you think he's now doing a live show around the UK?
Gotta love Good to Steiner, honestly. He's it'd be great on TV. I know he's been on TV a couple of times, but it'd be great as a permanent on TV. He would have to tone it down.
It would be really good as a commentator for F1.
Do you know what would be ideal is if he was a YouTube, if he made a YouTube account, because you can be a bit unfiltered on YouTube. On TV, you have to be a little bit PC, a little bit, careful of what you say. On YouTube, a lot less so. So I genuinely think that Steiner would actually make a really good F1 YouTuber like Rosberg. In that bracket. Because his swearing and stuff like that and criticism of people might not necessarily go down as badly.
No, that's why a lot of people liked him, because he did swear a lot, and he did have so many tantrums.
Yeah. Although what I've realised is that although you get the Drive to Survive fans who like seeing the uncut, back behind the scenes stuff, you also get a lot of F1 fans who are very kind of formal and old-fashioned, and they don't like to see the whole stuff like that on TV. But nonetheless, we see Rexford coming into the pits. Mr. Johan T. Faulkner and Matty Pitt, as you said, Ian, also in to change tyres. They're all putting the hard tyres on and should be good to go to the end. T's the driver who's going long, so is Street Boy as well, as T is looking to try and get the overcut.
They couldn't pit anyway because they both their teammates were in.
Yeah, very true. Very true. So Matty Pitt has been in. T will probably come in this lap, I would have thought. But Justify here, very close on C4, looking to make a move here up the hill into turn 2, and he's going to make that stick there beautifully there. But I was saying that C4 is still keeping himself there on the outside. Justify completes that move. I thought he had it done. He does have it done. But he's going to also get DRS now on Matty Pitt, which is going to help him out a little bit and should help him to consolidate that P6 for the time being. Davidos picks off Rexy Boy up into 8th place as well, so now chase down these drivers who he could be in a fight for a podium, maybe.
You need to make sure, you really need to fix your fucking controller.
Oh, is it my jack?
Yep.
Sorry, I'm going to sit forwards. But nonetheless, T is coming into the pits, the race leader. So that will release Glenn back up into the lead, which he's been holding for most of the race. He's been the net race leader for the entirety here. Street Boy's staying out in what's now second place. He's also got DRS to help him stay within striking distance here of Glenn. But yeah, on worn out medium tyres, so you'd expect he'll be needing to come in pretty shortly to change those up. He's also dropped out of the DRS here to Glenn. And Street Boy there was veering off course. I think he must have been trying to text and drive or something, because I was watching him going down that straight and his car just suddenly veered to the edge of the track and then back straight again. So I think he might have been distracted somewhat there. But nonetheless, Matty Pitt is well within DRS here of Mr. Johan. Justifies right there with them as well. See Faulkner in the background, so four of them battling over what's going to be a net second place. Cled is running away with the race lead, but Ian, with that penalty, it's going to be tight.
It really is, yeah. Because if Glenn pushes those tyres too fast to try and build that lead, by then it's going to be very toppy for him.
He's also been on those tyres 2 laps longer, because he went for the undercut. It's going to be marginal differences, but by the end of the race, he could be finding he's got that slightly less grip than these guys. So he needs to really work hard to keep that 3-second gap. He's got it at the moment, but with those older tyres, you know, the fractions of a second could make a difference here.
Oh, of course, yeah. Around this track, your timing is everything. Since there's no, you know, like multiple corners in a row, like most tracks, like you know, you get like Silverstone and all that, where you have, you know, your time where you can really make up the time where a driver behind makes, you know, a massive mistake. With the Red Bull ring, one error, that's you. You've got that's you. You're in the gravel. It takes you a good few seconds to, you know, to get back on track. Then wait for the tires to get rid of the dirt. It's you need to be really squeaky clean around here.
You certainly do. But Glenn, nonetheless, is coming around here on lap 18, almost halfway through this race, and he's got that gap at 2.5 seconds. But Mr. Johan has really gained over the course of this lap. It was 3 seconds at the beginning of the lap. It's now down to 2.4. So 0.6 Mr. Johan gained on that last lap, and he is coming for him. But he's dragging Matty Pitt, Justify, and C. Faulkner along with him as well. And with the DRS, he literally is dragging them along. But the question is, can these guys keep their tyres good with being running in the turbulent air of each other? As Freddie's got a 3-second penalty there for track limits, as we see now. Matty Pitt looking to the inside, also trying to defend on Justify here. He's trying to make sure he doesn't run into Mr. Johan. At the same time, he's trying to keep this McLaren at bay. It's not easy at all to bridge that gap between two drivers, but Justify close on Matty Pitt. Matty Pitt's got the DRS on Mr. Johan though, which is helping him massively. Rexy Boy in the meantime has got ahead of Davidoff up into P6 going through turn 3 at the end of the straight. As Mark's got down the inside of Truckee there, but Truckee's going to have DRS down towards turn 3 and surely might have a chance of coming back at him. Saying that though, he didn't get a good exit there out of turn 2, and that's going to stop him from being able to do that, and he tucks in for the time being there in P11.
Now down below 2 seconds between Mr. Johan and Glenn.
Yeah, Glenn is struggling at this point, I have to say. I'm not sure why.
It just does not seem to like that final sector.
Well, he must have done well on his outlaps, because to have gained about 2 or 3 seconds in the pits, he must have done a really good job. And obviously he had fresher tyres, but to do that in clean air or not, you know, requires a fair bit of pace. But right now he seems like he's resting on his laurels, or just has snapped out of it a little bit here. Needs to get himself back into a groove, as Justifies moved ahead of T. Faulkner there. Davidoff is now making a move on Rexy Boy. As round the outside he goes down towards turn 3, and he's going to have that one done, but Rexy Boy's still going to be there through the next DRS zones. That's for sure. These guys are a little way adrift of the leaders as well, so I think P6 could be the best that either of these two could be hoping for here in this race. Davidoff's been on the hard tyres for considerably longer as well than Rexy Boy has.
Here we go. Glenn's right ahead. Glenn's now really dropped off the mark here. He's now allowed Mr. Johan back into the DRS. So, oh no, here we go.
This is where you have to speculate, isn't it, Ian? That potentially Glenn has got some sort of issue, because The pace that he's got right now, he seems to have just compassed all talent in the last couple of laps. It just, whatever's happened to him, it just seems like he's fallen away. And Mr. Johan now is going to make this move. He's going to back out. Actually, he had a little lift there going into turn 2 because he doesn't want to be ahead at the DRS detection point. Saying that though, Clen really coasted there on the way into the braking zone, and it's going to be tight. I don't know who got DRS. It was Clen. So Clem managed to mug him there. Saying that though, because he was so half-assed on the throttle, he's still right there as Mr. Johan. Around the outside he goes and gets the move done anyway. So Clem tried it.
Has wing damage.
Oh no, that explains it.
He's missing his right side end plate.
No way. When did he do that? When could he have done that? Because there's no walls nearby to the track. Where could he have done that?
Maybe when he was passing someone when the pits came up. I do not know.
It must have been a back marker, surely. He must have been lapping the back marker and had an incident. T's got ahead of Freddie up into P8.
The top 6 now all have penalties now. Yeah, this is where it's really going to mix it up.
Thing is, this is what Clen needed now. Now he's in the DRS. Now he's in a train of cars. He can hold on to Mr. Johan because that will probably cost him about half a second, maybe a lap. But if he can hold on to Mr. Johan's DRS, then maybe he might have a chance to keep on to him.
Well, it's really about whether or not he can try and keep up through that middle sector.
It's going to be very tricky here. He's currently doing so as things stand, but how much longer is he going to be able to push that car? And his tyres are going to be dead as well by the end because he's going to be, trying to take everything out of him that he can just to keep himself in striking distance here.
He's really having to try and make those corners as tight as possible. He's coming through the tight right-hander at the start of section 2. He really does have to try and cut that corner as much as possible.
He's also going to be pushing those track limits as well because the understeer is going to be really killing them. Look at that. He's taken that brilliantly, to be fair. Well, credit where credit's due. I mean, he's done brilliantly there through those last 2 corners to take them as tightly as he did.
But he's having to sacrifice so much speed coming through them, so he doesn't oversteer as much.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's still within the DRS here on Mr. Johan. This is fantastic driving here from our championship leader. And he's still on course. It's Matty Pitt. They're looking down the inside. He's going to make that move there on the exit of turn 2. I think that's job done there for Matty Pitt. Yes, it is. Yep. Up into second place he goes. Didn't even see that one coming. I was watching running on board with Clen there as he was doing a fantastic job of combating that chronic understeer that he's got. As in the background there we see a lock up there from Justify. But Mr. Johan now has got a bit of a challenge here in the shape of Matty Pitt. Obviously, he had a bit of protection from the wounded Clen before, but now Matty Pitt is going to pose a much more active threat on the back of him. Mr. Johan's done a really good job here tonight, driving in that Haas car. Took a surprise second place in qualifying, and since then has been really hot on it. But right now, Matty Pitt, the reigning champion, who hasn't had the best of the season so far, could be looking to try and take his second win of the season here, after obviously taking the win earlier on in China. But Mr. Johan's going to fight him all the way here. We better get the penalties up so we know what we're talking about in terms of who's got what. And
everyone's on the apart from Davidoff.
Yeah, conveniently, that's good because that's exactly what we want. Oh, we say that, Ian. Yeah, we say that.
No, I saw the ghost of Truckee in the middle of the track there. But yeah,
Truckee continuing to haunt us despite his absence.
So, right now I'm going to say Clen, if the gap stays there, Clen's going to drop to P5. Matty Pitt, no he's not, he'll drop to about P6, P7 as things stand. And unless Davidoff can come up with some kind of miracle drive before the end of the race, that's the best he can try and catch. That's it Davidoff or that's it Rex?
I think Clen will be P7. I think you're right. Because Davidoff and Rexy Boy are well within that catchment. Davidoff's got ahead of Rexy Boy, has now cleared him and is now starting. I think maybe we'll now be in a position where he can start to reel these guys in. He did fix the damage that he had earlier on, obviously, so he's got a good car here underneath him. As C. Faulkner now moves ahead of Clen, and Clen is only going to go backwards here. I think he should hold on from Freddie. He's currently 10 seconds ahead of Freddie, so as long as he doesn't completely lose control. Oh, C. Faulkner! What's happened? Did you see
Is there
that
any
here?
damage? I did not, but there's no damage that I can see. What about the car ahead of him? Any damage on that? Nope.
Well, that could help Glenn get P6.
Oh.
I mean, it depends what sort of damage Steve Fortner's got here. So you can see here it's pretty okay. So like Ian said there, I think he's got away with that one, hasn't he? I mean, that could have been far worse. Could have been far worse. So yeah, he's got away
It
with
really
one there.
could have, yeah. Also, we didn't see exactly what happened, but something has definitely happened where he's had a touch from someone or he's got a little bit over excited on the throttle and spun it. We don't know, but we'll get Mr. Johan here. He seems to be dropping off the back of my pit a little bit here.
Yeah.
He's got the DRS and he's got the massive amount of overspeed and he's going to have the DRS coming out of this, coming out of turn 2. See if we can try and close the gap even further and try and maybe look at an overtake going down to the start finish straight.
Yeah, Matty Pitt took the lead on the previous lap, but Mr. Johan's not done yet. And it's going to push him. Oh, what a slide that was there from Mr. Johan. I've just noticed here, I don't know how it's taken me this long to notice, that Mr. Johan has gone for a very pointy, oversteery front end. He's clearly got quite a lot of front end bias in terms of the front wing. It definitely seems like he's fighting that car in the mid part of the corner as he's trying to, obviously he's getting it rotated nicely in the first part, but then he's having to combat the oversteer, which is trying to point the car the wrong way, and he's doing. That's going to surely accelerate the tyre wear, isn't it, Ian?
It really will, yeah, especially on those front tires. That is really going to hurt him towards the end of the race unless you can put, the only other way I can see a low downforce car, manage it, get to the end without just absolutely annihilating the tyre. I'd have to hope for a safety car in some way for the remainder of that race, but with less than 10 laps to go, it's not looking very promising.
Certainly isn't. Drivers have kept it very clean so far as T's moved ahead of Freddie up into 7th place. Freddie with a 6-lane penalty as well. But Davidoff moved ahead of Rexy Boy. They're side by side here on the exit of turn 3. As Davidoff here on the inside. Rexy Boy's trying to keep it there. These two have been battling it out for the last few laps. Rexy Boy very reminiscent of Hamilton there with his Ferrari and yellow helmet. Manages to get a beautiful cutback there on Davidoff as they went through turn 4. And back up into 4th place he goes. What a fight these two are having. It's not the fight that either of these two want. And Davidoff's going to be frustrated here because he could... Well, to be fair, all the drivers behind him have got penalties, so he should be okay as long as he doesn't get another one. But he needs to be not only ahead of Rexy Boy, but he needs to be 3 seconds ahead if he's to take home P4 here.
Yeah, and also now, well, since Glenn is now down in P11 after going to the pits to, change his front wing. That's not really much for trouble for anybody else that's trying to, gain as many points as possible. But right now, Glenn not had the greatest race of all. I say that and he's went and got the fastest lap, but it's just one of those things.
We see T there and Freddie having a battle as T's come out on top in that one. The 7th and 8th places there. Mr. Johan's also got back ahead of Matty Pitt here for the race lead. So there's developments going on here at the front. I'll tell you what, we've got to stick with this battle at the front here because it's a three-way fight for the lead. Mr. Johan, Matty Pitt and Justify will be giving everything here over the course of these last 8 laps. But Mr. Johan once again showing that he's got the racecraft here to fight with the reigning champion of the purple sector Formula 1 League. Justify has got a massive chance here in this race with this championship leader Glenn, who's 51 points clear of him coming into tonight, down in 11th place, and Justify behind him on track. Obviously, Davidoff behind him on track. Justify has got chances to gain on both of them here tonight, and he's currently running in 3rd place, so he's on course to take a big chunk out of Glenn's lead, saying that Davidoff will be the leader of the championship after tonight as things stand. But Justify will be taking a big bite out of it, that's for sure.
Oh, definitely, yeah. This is the best car race he could have hoped for this far into the season. Right now, he's just trying to improve on those points and try and, hopefully, try and take the win away from Matty Pitt and Mr. Johan here.
See Freddie there getting a 3-second penalty for track limits as he's running 8th place, so that's now 9 seconds to his tally, so things are getting worse here at the moment. But Rexy Boy, the only driver to do it, to pick up a penalty here in P5. He's been passed there by C. Faulkner, which could give Davidoff a chance to try and disappear off into the sunset here in 4th place. He needs C. Faulkner and Rex Boy to battle, but it could be his cue to pick up P4 here tonight. He just needs to get on with it here and try and disappear up the road. As you see C. Faulkner and Davidoff were side by side here, and look at Rexy Boy up the inside here alongside C. Faulkner to the inside here into turn 2. But C. Faulkner, they're keeping it around the outside. Davidoff as well, right in there in this fight. What a fight this is here.
Oh!
What's wrong?
Justified went to follow Matty Pip through on the move on Mr. Johan, and it looked like Mr. Johan just closed the door on him, and he's now lost his, looks like his left end plate.
Freddie there moving ahead of T up into 7th place, down the end of the straight into turn 3. As these two continue to duke it out here, but T with a lot less penalties knows he just needs to finish with Freddie, doesn't need to finish ahead of him in order to take home 7th place here in this race. But yeah, Ian, that's that what you just said about Justify, that's gonna be destroying his chances of winning this race, surely, because he's now over a second behind these two, and these two are going to be giving each other DRS. Has he just thrown away his chances of a win here? We'll have to see. But Mr. Johan looking to the inside, and Matty Pitt giving him the space there, as Matty Pitt getting a better exit out of turn 2 with that wider exit there. Mr. Johan will have DRS again, but he's not close enough there going into turn 3. A big lock up there from Mr. Johan as well, really pushing those brakes as hard as they can. Obviously, the downhill braking zone means there's so much pressure on those tyres to get to stop going into the corner. It's not easy, but at the moment they're holding firm. They're keeping onto them quite nicely at the moment, these hard tyres. Most of them have been on them for about 20 laps at this point, so they're doing a good job. As they come through the final corner here, Matty Pitt has got Mr. Johan closer and closer on him now. Mr. Johan's going to be eyeing up a move on this lap, I'm sure about that. He's getting closer up the inside into turn 1, backing out of that one, because he doesn't want to ruin his chances up the hill into turn 2. This is going to be the main overtaking point, but you can also get it into turn 3, so he might want to stay behind here. He might want to play the tactical game here. Yep, look at that little lift there from Mr. Johan coming into the braking zone. We know all about that one, Ian. We've seen it before. We're seeing it again here. Gamesmanship tactics here from these drivers.
Yeah, but at the same time, you don't want to be braking too early in order to, allow your opponent to get the gap back up too far before the DRS zone activates. Because at that point, you're just there to try to regain the time that you've lost from braking early.
The thing is, I think that the tactic to get past into turn 3 isn't to back out completely and try and get the DRS out of turn 2. The actual tactic is to try and be alongside going into turn 2, but be slightly behind. And it's a very, very hard thing to do, because once you're alongside, you kind of just breeze past. So you've got to be putting the other driver under enough pressure to compromise their exit, but still be behind. And that's a very, very hard balancing act. And Mr. Johan obviously backed out too much on this lap. What he wants to do is he wants to be alongside Matty Pitt, forcing Matty Pitt to alter his line, but Matty Pitt might just back out here. Yeah, Matty Pitt there playing a corker, getting well out of it there into the braking zone. Now Mr. Johan's going to be the one who's vulnerable, as Matty Pitt's going to have the rear wing wide open. Here we go then. But is he too far away? He might just be a little bit too far back, and Mr. Johan, in fact, has got that move done. So well done, Mr. Johan. Timed that one beautifully.
Yeah, definitely. He knew exactly what line he wanted to take. He knew where he had to put the car, and he managed to get away with it perfectly fine there.
Indeed, Davidoff there getting back ahead of C. Faulkner, Davidoff for 4th place. T has also got ahead of Freddie there, up into 7th as they're coming out of turn 3 right now. But we've got just over 3 laps left to go here in Austria for this Austrian Grand Prix here at the Purple Sector Formula 1 League here at the Red Bull Ring. Mr. Johan is still out in front, but Justify has got back on these guys. We're saying a couple of laps ago, is Justify down and out after making that little mistake trying to tackle Mr. Johan a few laps ago. Now he's right there with them, showing he's got the fight and he's got the heart and the determination to fight for this win. And now he's trying to eye up this Mercedes here of the reigning champion. As he looks to the inside there into turn 2, a little bit too far away. Freddie is out of the race. Has he crashed? Has he thrown in the towel? Not quite sure. I think he crashed into the pit wall, I think, because he's retired just at the pit entry. So he might have crashed into the pit wall, potentially. Just a theory, but nonetheless, Gilles into the pits. Davidoff back ahead of C40. He's got wide onto the gravel there, and that might have just thrown away his chances of fourth. In fact, it was C40, sorry, who was wide onto the gravel. So that's given Davidoff third place again. Davidoff's now got 6 seconds, though. So he's definitely going to lose out to Rexy Boy. Rexy Boy just needs to stay where he is at the moment, and he'll pick up P4. Dramatic scenes here as Mr. Johan starting lap 35 of the race. 2 laps left to go here in this one. It's all to play for in a battle for the win. Has Justified just been waiting for the right moment here? Has he been biding his time, waiting to attack in the closing stages where he's still got the tyres and still got the DRS positioning? Here we go then into turn 2. Matty Pitt there going slowly into the corner and really catching Justify out there. That was a borderline brake test there. As now we see them coming down towards 3 again. Matty Pitt on the inside. Justify has to tuck in back to his normal racing line here. But this is a lot of gamesmanship going on here. The drivers are trying to position themselves in very awkward places here so that their opponents are really frustrated. But Mr. Johan is still holding on to this lead. It's a slender lead ahead of these two. Who is going to win this race out of these 3? Flip a coin. I mean, you can't flip a coin because there's 3 of them, but you know what I mean. But now we come then into the final 2 corners once again. Justify very close to Matty Pitt. Matty's dropped off a little bit off of Mr. Johan over the course of this lap, but Justify has to get ahead of Matty Pitt now if he's to have any chance of winning this race. So here we go then. This is for all the marbles here for the Purple Sector F1 League here. The Austrian Grand Prix. Here it goes. Justify now is going to surely look to try and make this move into turn 2. He needs to get ahead of Matty Pitt now, and he's not close enough. But they're both going to get the run here on Mr. Johan down towards 3. I'll tell you what, this is going to be tight here. There's 6/10 separating all 3 of them. Look at this. Here we go. Matty Pitt getting closer to Mr. Johan. Is he going to make the move into turn 3? A little bit too far away. Massive lock up there from Mr. Johan. Did he go deep? No, he got it turned in nicely in the end. It was a close call there. He really did put too much pressure on those brakes, but managed to get onto it there. As Rexboy and Davidoff battling over 4 places. Rexboy's got back ahead of him there in that fight. What a fight it is between those two on this final lap of the race. Mr. Johan, though, leading through these final few corners. Oh, Matty Pitt's got off onto the gravel there, and that's surely going to throw away second place. Justify swoops through and says thank you very much. No, he backs out of it. So was there a collision there which caused Justify to have to recede the position back? I'm not quite sure, but Mr. Johan up towards the line is going to take the win here for the Austrian Grand Prix at Purple Sector. What a fantastic win there was from Mr. Johan. A surprise second place on the grid, and he's gone and delivered here in this one. Mr. Matty Pitt takes second, Justified third, followed by Rexy Boy, who finishes in 4th place with the penalties there, and actually got it on the track, I think, anyway. No, he didn't actually. No, he was behind Davidoff on the track. But Rexy Boy 4th, Davidoff 5th, C Faulkner over in 6th, with Glenn over in 7th place in the end. 6 championship points there for Glenn. No, actually, 8th place, so 4 championship points. So he loses 11 points to Justify, and he loses 6 points to Davidoff. So not the end of the world there for Glenn at all. T 9th, Street Boy 10th, and G.C. will be the last to finish in 11th place here. But Mr. Johan there taking a very deserved win. Justified in the best of the championship contenders, but still not gaining enough points to really make an impression. But I suppose, I said earlier on, Ian, he needs to be chipping away and gaining points every round. He's done that.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. That's the best thing you can possibly do when you see that the championship leader is, having a bit of a compromised race. The best thing you can just try and do is just, push that a little bit harder and try and, take full advantage of it.
He's certainly done that. So that is the race here done at Austria for this one. Pardon me, here tonight, and that is absolutely brilliant there from all of the drivers there. Great racing action here at the Red Bull Ring. It really is one of the most exciting tracks on the calendar, with plenty of overtaking and action. So well done to everybody for putting on a fantastic show. Mr. Johan there taking the win ahead of Matty Pitt in second, with Justify completing the podium. Rexboy 4th ahead of Davidoff in P5. Davidoff gaining points on the championship leader Glenn, and I think he might be in the lead. It's going to be very close actually between those two now because it was close before, but obviously Davidoff has gained 5 points because Glenn got the fastest lap. So I think Glenn might still have a slender lead in the championship. And in fact, he still does. So Glenn leads the championship by 3 points over Davidoff. Justify gains 10 points on Glenn in that one. So he cuts the championship lead down to 41 points. So, yeah, still to play for this season, guys. Join us on Thursday night for round 12 of the season. We'll be at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. Until then, good night.
Good night.